It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Well, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8, and here we are around 7 minutes after 8 o'clock on a Wednesday morning. Wednesday. Halfway through, I don't know about that. Halfway through the week. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. A lot of people are probably going to hook up a 4-day weekend, right? Okay, maybe a 5-day weekend, who knows? So this might be the end of the week for a lot of people. Hey, all right, it's Thanksgiving week, so there you go. So it might be a very shortened week. Well, Brian, you had a story on there about that lady in Canisteo, and it has all the charges, but it doesn't say what she did. So I guess because the investigation is ongoing.
Yeah, they're not releasing any more details than the charges.
But boy, those are a lot, and they're pretty serious charges too. All right, well, we'll find out more as time goes on. Well, as I said, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and there are a lot of really important stories going on right now, and some of them are highly controversial, especially in New York State. There's a bunch. But because it is the Thanksgiving week, I've been trying to keep it a little lighter all week. I don't know. I don't know. Of course, on the other hand, even Thanksgiving is controversial, if you think of it, right? Native Americans, all that. But nonetheless, I'm going to try to keep this on the lighter side, and this is going to be about Thanksgiving and food is good. Any holiday or any activity or any event that includes food is good in my book. Well, let me see. The first one we have this from Mental Floss. Have you ever wondered why Thanksgiving is on the fourth Thursday in November? Well, we will find out. Almost 170 years after the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag tribe feasted for the first unofficial Thanksgiving in 1621, the U.S. federal government decided to make it official. So, on October 3rd, 1789, President George Washington declared that the nation would celebrate a day of public Thanksgiving on November 26th that year. While November 26, 1789 happened to fall on a Thursday, subsequent proclamations didn't standardize that practice according to the National Archives. Other presidents chose different days and even months for the food-filled harvest holiday. And then in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln, one of our greatest presidents, issued a proclamation stating that Thanksgiving would be celebrated every year on the last Thursday in November. And although we don't know exactly why Washington originally chose Thursday, there are a couple of theories. The Old Farmer's Almanac suggests that Thursday became the tradition early on because it was just far enough from the weekend that it wouldn't overlap with the Sabbath, which many colonists observed at the time. It was also common for New England ministers to give religious lectures on Thursday afternoons. It really doesn't say why either. Anyway, so it's possible that the reflective, prayerful nature of Thanksgiving tied in nicely with the regularly scheduled programming. So either way, the nation gave thanks around the table every last Thursday of November until 1939, when Thanksgiving fell on the very last day in November. So the nation was recovering from the Great Depression, and President Franklin D. Roosevelt, encouraged by retailers, decided it would benefit the economy if Thanksgiving was celebrated a week earlier, thus lengthening the holiday shopping season. And in a presidential proclamation, he shifted it to the second to last Thursday of November, but only 32 states agreed with him. So from 1939 to 1941, America had 2 Thanksgivings, and it would depend on where you were, where you lived. In 1941, Congress put an end to the chaos with a joint resolution declaring that the entire nation would celebrate Thanksgiving on just one day. That's a lot easier. Though the House of Representatives chose the last Thursday in the original document, they ultimately conceded when the Senate submitted an amendment choosing the fourth Thursday instead, thus accounting for the years when November has 5 weeks. President Roosevelt signed it on December 26, 1941. So there you go. That's why a little complicated, but that's why Thanksgiving is celebrated on the fourth Thursday in November. And while this isn't exactly Thanksgiving themed, I did mention George Washington in that story. Well, here's you just wouldn't think of this. This is from this originally appeared in the New York Post, And then Fox News had a version of it. But you wouldn't think of the colonists in the 18th century using cologne. We know that their hygiene habits were not the greatest, okay? They didn't really bathe all that often, and probably the whole place stunk, right? But they did use cologne. And George Washington's favorite cologne is still sold by the original fragrance company, and it still uses the same formula, in a matter of speaking. And the company that made and is still in existence, Caswell Massey, is located now in the Bowery in New York. They started in Rhode Island, in Newport. So this company is still selling the same fragrance that George Washington used. And here's the story. The Newport founded company is coming up for its 268th year of business. 268 years. And its CEO, Nicholas Aruz, insists that they've only just gotten started scenting the masses. After shuttering its 84-year-old store in the Barclay Hotel in New York, they moved to the Bowery. So they started in Newport, Rhode Island, and then they moved to New York City. And what this Mr. Aruz says is Washington came to the shop in Newport on a business trip to meet Marquis de Lafayette. The French guy there? He explained, from everything we know, Dr. William Hunter, who founded the brand, and George Washington both really wanted to show off how European the colonies were. So that's why Dr. Hunter was making perfumes to have Newport feel less like a pirate town and a little more like a real cosmopolitan place. I think Washington was really eager to show off that we weren't a backwoods country anymore and that we were sort of a worldly, global, up-and-coming civilization. So I think they must have hit it off just a little bit. So, where was I here? Yes. So Washington chose Hunter's Formula Number 6 toilet water. Formula Number 6 toilet water. And he liked it so much, he gave it as a gift to others. And Lafayette, when he came back to the States in the early 1800s, visited the shop on his grand tour, and this was in Rhode Island, and talked about how this was the fragrance George Washington had given him, and he came back to buy some more. So these two guys were influencers at the time. That's what they would be called. So the brand just grew and grew and grew. How do you like that? So while Caswell Massey has updated the formulation of the iconic scent quite a bit since its invention, swapping out animal-based ingredients for plant-based and molecular ones, the brand still uses the original recipe as the basis to produce its now called Supernatural Number 6. It's also a little pricey, as I can see here. It costs $225. So I'm not quite sure exactly how much is in the bottle or something, but it's $225, a little pricey. So that's what we have. That's amazing. I didn't know that they used, colognes or scents or perfumes or aftershaves or something. Wow. Okay, back to Thanksgiving. Why do we eat cranberry sauce on Thanksgiving? This is from Mental Floss. Okay. According to Insider, that's another website, cranberries are one of only 3 commercially grown fruits native to the United States, and the Wampanoag tribe had been using them for food, dye, and medicine long before feasting with the Pilgrims in 1621. If there were cranberries at the party, they probably didn't taste much like the sweetened sauce we have now. At that point, the settlers hadn't yet succeeded in growing sugarcane in the New World, right? But a little more than 50 years later, according to a 1672 account cited by the Washington Post, the New Americans and Native Americans have both started to enjoy cranberries much as we do at Thanksgiving. So it says here, Indians and English used it much, boiling them with sugar for a sauce to eat with their meat. And that's according to a cookbook back then. And in 1796, Amelia Simmons, author of American Cookery, the first ever American cookbook, took it one step further by recommending that roast turkey be served with cranberry sauce. Considering that the Library of Congress included the book on its list of books that shaped America, it's possible that Simmons' suggestion reverberated through kitchens across the nation, and the tradition gained momentum from there. And she does also mention pickled mangoes as an alternate side dish for turkey. But the then Indian import was likely less common than the locally grown cranberry. So there you have it. That's why we eat cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving. Frankly, I love cranberry sauce. I mean, not that jelly stuff in the can, but the whole cranberries. I can open up a can of cranberries and just eat the whole thing. I love cranberries. You can't have enough cranberries. Okay, let me see here. What else? Oh, if you're wondering how to cook your turkey or the rest of your Thanksgiving meal tomorrow, Thursday, I have a number of recipes here from kindergartners. I found this on Teachers Net. I will go anywhere for a story. It's the teachers.net Gazette. And these are from kindergartners. And some of them are just a little out there. Let me see. We lead off with the turkey recipes. Cooking tips from kindergartners. Hey, you can't go wrong. Here's one from somebody, Jeremy. He says, here he writes, you buy the turkey and take the paper off. Probably a good idea. Then you put it in the refrigerator and take it back out and cut it with a knife. And make sure all the wires are out and take out the neck and heart. Then you put it in a big pan and cook it for half an hour at 80 degrees. Then you invite people over and eat. Okay, that's Jeremy. How about applesauce? Applesauce is served at Thanksgiving, I guess. This is from Shelby. Go to the store and buy some apples. And then you squish them up. Then you put them in a jar that says applesauce. Then you eat it. Okay, well, you don't want to mislabel it, right? Okay, so put it in a jar that says applesauce and then you eat it. How about from Megan? Turkey. You cut it into 16 pieces, and then you leave it in the oven for 15 minutes at 4 degrees. Then you take it out and let it cool, and then after 5 minutes, you eat it. All right? Let me see. How about... Oh, here you are. This is Irene. This is a turkey recipe. Put it on a plate and put it in the oven with gravy. You cook it for 1 minute at 100 degrees. Then it's all cooked. Your mom or dad cuts it, and then you eat it. Okay, that's good. Let me see. I almost missed this one. This is from Moriah for turkey. First, you cut the bones out. Then you put it in the oven for 10 hours at 600 degrees. Then you put it on the table and eat it. So that should be nice and crispy, I would imagine. How about, this is from another Jordan here. Turkey. First, you have to cut it up and put it on a plate in the oven for 9 minutes at 18 degrees. Then you dig it out and eat it. I don't know what happened in the oven, but then you dig it out of the oven and eat it. Okay. How about this is okay. All right. This is from Alan. First you shoot it, and then you cut it, and then you put it in the oven and cook it for 10 minutes at 20 degrees. You put it on plates, and then you eat it. Here's a recipe for pumpkin pie. This is pretty simple. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than this. First, this is from Christopher. First, you buy a pumpkin and smash it. Then it's all done. And you cook it in the oven for 12 minutes at 4 degrees, and then you eat it. You can't make a pie any easier than that. How about, what else here? Okay, where are we here? This is from Lauren for turkey. First, you find a turkey and kill it. Cut it open. Put it in a pan. Pour milk in the pan. Put a little chicken with it. Put salsa on it. Take out of the pan. Put it on the board. Cut into little pieces. Put on a rack. Put in the oven for 7 minutes at 10 degrees. Take out of the oven and put teensy-weensy bit of sugar on it. Pat a little more salsa on it, and then you eat it. I think that's too complicated. That is way too complicated. Way too many moving parts in that one. Okay, hey, you have heard about this massive jewel heist. This happened Monday of this week in Germany and the city of Dresden. but it's the biggest jewel heist in history. These burglars made off with more than $1 billion worth of jewelry. And there were photographs along with the story. This is from Bloomberg. More than $1 billion worth of jewelry. The biggest jewel heist in history. And the jewels were housed in the Green Vault Museum. And get this, they weren't insured. $1 billion worth of jewelry, and the jewelry was not insured. So I'm thinking, had the museum's administration used their head, they would have contacted, that's right, the Ryan agencies. Right? You can't have $1 billion worth of jewelry and have it uninsured. Why didn't they call the Ryan agency? Who knows? Hey, they just weren't using their heads. But you know about the Ryan agencies, right? They have offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Roseville. They are insurance experts. I don't know how much they know about jewelry, but they probably do. Who knows? Anyway, they are insurance experts. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They are beholden to no one insurance company. They have all these insurance companies at their disposal. And they will find the best rates for you. Even if you own a museum in Dresden, who knows? They are the Ryan agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
A change at the top of the latest college football playoff rankings. Ohio State is on top of the rankings this week, knocking off LSU down to the number 2 spot. Clemson remains 3, Georgia remains 4, and Alabama is still the first team on the outside looking in at a playoff spot at number 5. Utah is the new number 6 team. College basketball, an epic upset as number 1 Duke loses at home to unranked Stephen F. Austin, 85-83 in overtime. The Lumberjacks' Nathan Bain hit a layup at the buzzer to give them the win. Blue Devils were 27.5-point favorites in this game, and their 150-game home court winning streak against non-conference opponents comes to an end. Number 3, Michigan State, 4th-ranked Kansas, number 18, Auburn, and number 21, Colorado did post victories. In the NBA, 2 games, Clippers over the Mavericks, 114-99. Kawhi Leonard, 28 points. Paul George, 26 points for the Clippers. Nuggets knock off the Wizards, 117-104.
Threatened to
At the Simmons Rockwell Nissan stores in Horseheads and Hornell, drive away in a new Nissan Altima SR all-wheel drive sedan for only $329 a month. New all-wheel drive 2020 Altima 2.5 SR models equipped with 19-inch alloys, sport tune suspension, and remote start. Lease with no money down for $329 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
And here we are. Yes, sir. Speaking on the, continuing with the Thanksgiving theme here, I don't know what the Reynolds, the aluminum foil company there, I don't know what they know about chicken or the turkey, but they have some pretty unusual recipes for turkey, which you might possibly want to try if you are so adventurous. Let me see. They have something here. This is called Holiday. The website. Mac and cheese Thanksgiving turkey. Mac and cheese Thanksgiving turkey is the latest strange recipe from Reynolds Wrap. Now, you know, I think everybody has had their mac and cheese period in their life where things aren't going too awfully well, and the only thing you can afford is mac and cheese, which, you know, is like, okay. But I remember, let me see, there was a period in my life, I think it was 25 cents a box for Kraft macaroni and cheese. And I went through so much macaroni and cheese, and I had to. And I went probably for 20 years and could not even think of mac and cheese after that period. So, yeah, I had enough mac and cheese to last me a lifetime. So after 20 years, I said, well, maybe, you know, actually mac and cheese is not all that bad. I don't know about mac and cheese turkey, though. Well, here's the way it goes. Reynolds Wrap is really trying to push everyone out of their comfort zones this Thanksgiving by suggesting you coat your bird with packages of powdered cheese. Okay, the aluminum foil brand has released its latest boundary-pushing recipe, a mac and cheese coated and accented turkey. The recipe calls for 1 10 to 16 pound turkey. You know, I never knew that I would be doing all these recipes on the air. I mean, really. Anyway, it calls for 1 10 to 16 pound turkey, vegetable oil, and 4 boxes of your favorite box macaroni and cheese. All right. With the 4 boxes, 2 are to be prepared according to box directions, while 2 are to be used only for the powdered cheese. Okay. However, instead of simply coating the turkey in olive oil and putting it in the oven to cook, one is supposed to use the 2 packages of powdered cheese to fully coat the bird with the dusty orange topping. Okay, then off to the oven for the bird to cook inside the aluminum foil, probably made by Reynolds Wrap, and hopefully for the cheese to start turning to a more cheesy sauce. All right, once the turkey is done, Reynolds suggests removing it from the oven and throwing it away. No, you remove it from the oven and place it on a serving platter with prepared boxed macaroni and cheese for garnish. You know, the macaroni and cheese and turkey, I've never really thought of that, but I guess, okay. And let me see. The brand of Reynolds Wrap has been known for its sort of strange turkey recipes over the years. Last year? Reynolds released a very Instagrammable and very complicated glitter turkey recipe, which called for pearl dust. What is pearl dust? I have absolutely no idea. Glitter turkey, which called for pearl dust and gum tex tylose powder. If I didn't know what pearl dust is, I really don't know what gum tex tylose powder is, but I guess you can buy it at your local grocery. Who knows? Anyway, and the year before that, they came out with the kind of unusual Flamin' Hot Cheetos turkey. Flaming Hot Cheetos turkey. So we have that, we have the glitter turkey, and we have the macaroni and cheese turkey thing there. Okay, what else here? This, some people you just don't know. Let me see here. Where was this from? This was from the New York Post, and this happened in Florida. A Florida man was arrested after he tried to claim that the wind blew a Coke baggie into his car. 37-year-old Joseph Zack was busted trying to throw something away when he was pulled over somewhere in Florida for going through a stop sign. So the cops found this crack cocaine in a baggie, and he said, "It's not mine. The wind must have blown it in here. I swear it's not mine." Okay, so that's it, and there he goes. There's a photograph of him. Yeah, he might possibly say something like that. Okay, fine, that's it. I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.